Have you ever felt like we're living in two different worlds? In one, you see these absolutely mind-blowing advances in artificial intelligence, like every single day. But in the other world, the one with the economic numbers, it just doesn't add up. So today, let's dive in and try to solve one of the biggest economic mysteries of our time, the AI productivity paradox.
You've heard the hype for years, right? Tech leaders have been painting this incredible picture of a new golden era. I mean, listen to someone like Eric Schmidt, the former head of Google. He talked about an age of abundance, driven by an age of intelligence. The optimism was just completely off the charts.
But here's where things get weird. While the tech world was promising this amazing future, the actual global economy was slowing down. This chart shows it plain as day. Productivity growth was falling off a cliff right at the moment AI was supposed to be changing everything. We could see the AI, but we sure couldn't feel it in the economy.
All right, so let's really dig into this clash. This huge gap between the incredible expectations and the pretty disappointing statistics.
And hey, this isn't just a feeling. Economists actually gave it a name back in 2017, the modern productivity paradox. Think about it. For more than a decade, we've had these two completely opposite stories happening at the exact same time. On one side, soaring AI capabilities. On the other, totally stagnant economic growth.
And the progress on the AI side has been absolutely jaw-dropping. Just look at this. In only 6 years, AI that recognizes images went from being wrong almost a third of the time to being better than humans. That's not just an improvement, that's an incredible, revolutionary leap in what's possible. And this wasn't some niche thing happening in a university lab. We're talking about the titans of the industry: Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook. By 2017, all 5 of them were literally restructuring their entire companies around a strategy they called AI First. They were betting their futures and billions of dollars on it. So you see the problem, right? You've got these two totally different realities. On one hand, you've got superhuman AI, AI-first strategies, and tech stocks going through the roof. But on the other hand, for most people, productivity growth was actually cut in half, and incomes were going nowhere. It just didn't make any sense.
So what gives? How do you solve a puzzle like this? Well, believe it or not, the best clue we have is hiding in the past. To understand AI, we actually need to take a quick lesson from electricity.
Okay, so there's this key idea you need to know. Economists call inventions like AI general-purpose technologies. Now, these aren't just small improvements. These are the ultimate game changers, the foundational breakthroughs like the steam engine or electricity that have the power to literally reinvent everything. But here's the catch with these massive inventions. They take a long time to actually show up in the economic data. Seriously, look at electricity. The first power station opens in 1881. But the big productivity boom we associate with it, that didn't hit until the 1920s. That is a 40-year lag. So, why the long holdup? Well, it turns out it wasn't enough to just invent the electric motor. You couldn't just drop it into an old steam-powered factory and expect magic. Businesses had to completely reinvent themselves. They had to come up with complementary innovations like the assembly line and totally new factory layouts. That stuff takes decades. And for a long time, that was the leading theory for the AI paradox.
So, for years, that theory kind of held. Everyone just figured, okay, AI is like electricity. We just have to be patient. It made sense for a while. But then, a massive plot twist arrived.
You know what I'm talking about. In late 2022, generative AI exploded onto the scene. And suddenly, researchers at places like MIT and Google started saying, hold on, this isn't like the old AI. This might be the thing that finally ends the paradox.
And the speed of this new wave is it's unbelievable. Get this, in late 2022, GPT 3.5 could outperform about 10% of humans taking the US bar exam. Impressive, right? Well, less than a year later, the next version, GPT 4, was outperforming 90% of them. We're not talking about a 40-year lag. We're talking about a revolution measured in months.
So this makes you wonder, right? What if that whole electricity comparison, what if it just doesn't apply anymore? What if this new kind of AI is just built differently, built for speed?
And there are some really solid reasons to think so. First, unlike with electricity, all the infrastructure, the internet, the cloud, our phones, it's already built. Second, and this is a big one, you don't need to be an expert to use it. You just talk to it. And third, when an improvement is made, it gets deployed to the entire planet instantly.
And because of that speed, we're not waiting for the productivity gains. We are seeing them right now. The data is already rolling in. Studies are showing that coders are working 56% faster, consultants are delivering work that's 40% higher in quality, even call center agents are solving 14% more problems every hour. This is happening.
Okay, but this next part might be the most surprising thing of all. You'd think a tool like this would help the top experts the most, right? Well, you'd be wrong. It turns out, generative AI acts as a great equalizer. It gives the biggest boost to the lower-performing workers. In one study, top performers got about a 17% boost, but the bottom half, their performance jumped by 43%. It helps people catch up, and fast.
So let's put it all together. If the paradox is ending, what does this new AI-powered future actually look like? Well, it promises a lot of new growth, but it also comes with some huge new questions.
So economists at Goldman Sachs try to put a number on it. They estimate that generative AI could boost annual GDP growth by about 0.4 percentage points. Now, I know 0.4% sounds kind of tiny, right? But for a multi-trillion-dollar economy like the US, that is a colossal increase in wealth and resources year after year.
And let's be clear about why this is such a big deal. Economic growth isn't just an abstract number on a chart. It's directly linked to real human well-being. Historically, as countries get richer, their people tend to live longer, healthier, and, well, happier lives.
But, and this is a big but, that incredible speed comes with challenges. A change this fast means a huge, rapid transition for jobs, for the skills we all need, and for how much people get paid. All that reinvention that took decades with electricity, we're trying to cram it into just a few years.
So, to sum it all up, we've gone from the old paradox, which was all about an AI that was slow and hard to use, leaving us scratching our heads asking, why isn't this working? To this brand new reality with generative AI, which is fast, easy, and already showing results. And that forces us to ask a totally new question. Okay, how do we adapt to this?
And that's really what it all boils down to. If that old mystery of the productivity paradox is finally solved, we're left staring at a brand new, maybe even more profound one. It's a question that is going to define the next decade for all of us. Will we be able to create new kinds of human work faster than this incredibly powerful technology automates the old?